trying times, we salute the frontliners who are tirelessly caring for all of us against the COVID-19. To all the courageous nurses, doctors, carers, and paramedics at the NHS, words are not enough to thank you. We at Highlight Express International are here to support you back with a full semester 10% discount when you send your balikbayan boxes to your family in the Philippines. Dahil ang Highlight Express International ay para sa pamilya.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
100% all natural, tasty, healthy, versatile, 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
Okay, nako, magandang gabi ho sa inyong lahat. Welcome ho sa ating programa. It's Thursday. Happy Thursday ho ngayon. At ako po si Sonny Laragan dito po sa palatuntunang Immigration Corner. So every Thursday ho yan. So although maliwanag pa rito, no, medyo andyan pa, no? Pero good evening na ho. Good evening na ho sa ating mga kababayan. It's 8 or 14 minutes after 8. Siyempre, we'd like to thank you for welcoming us sa inyong mga tahanan. Thank you very much, no, and making this a regular Thursday habit. Siyempre, hindi tayo ang star of the show dahil wala naman tayong masyadong ganong ekspertong kaalaman pagdating sa immigration, di ba? Tayo ho lang ay kasama lang dito at umaalalay siyempre doon sa ating star of the show. Walang iba kundi si Attorney Lira Simon Cabatbat. Attorney, magandang Thursday, happy Thursday night sa iyo.
Yeah, happy Thursday, Sonny. No, I disagree. I think akong alalay mo. So
No.
Happy to help.
No, it's nice. Well, I would, wala ako. If they ask me of anything about the immigration, walang wala. Probably a few points lang. Siguro out of 100%, siguro mga 3 to 5%. So malaking ano yan, 95% ano. But it's nice because aside from we learn, but we enjoy your company. We enjoy the interaction, the kababble natin, virtual social bubble with our listeners and viewers, no? who are watching us and welcoming us sa kanilang mga tahanan. So, ayan. Well, as always, my first question, how was your week from the last Thursday till today? How was it? Anong pinagagawa mo? Weekend or, kumusta ka na?
Yeah.
Have you gained weight, lost weight? Anong balita sa'yo? Have you been cooking? I started learning how to cook, no?
Have you?
I did. Oh, yeah. I just woke up one day, and I said, teka muna, itong bang pagluluto, is it really mysterious? So, ito pa kasi very, di ba, parang glamorous di ba? You have yung mga celebrity chefs, di ba? And every program you watch dito sa UK, o sa UK, yung nga ho palang nanonood sa atin, well, of course, nasa UK ho kami, we're broadcasting live from London for those who have tuned in for the first time, kasi attorney tayo, they watch us from different parts of the world merong nanonood tayo sa Iran, sa Hong Kong, sa Switzerland, iba-ibang lugar. They watch us, which is good. No, welcome ho kayo.
Yeah.
Tuloy ho kayo, kabayan. So, ayan. And it's nice because somehow we're touching them or reaching them by our program, via our show. So, ayun. Hindi, yun lang. Nasa London, dito ho sa UK, marami hong mga cooking shows, mga celebrity chefs. On a Sunday, I don't know if it's Channel 4, no? Yung Sunday brunch. No, may show na yun. I don't know if you've seen that program. Once every Saturday or Sunday yun. Sunday brunch yata. Ito guys na medyo nakakalbo sila pero they host a show, no? Nagluluto yung isa. Nakakatuwa. And so one day I just decided to subukan ko kaya. Hiwa-hiwa muna. Ganyan.
Yeah.
Na, ikaw ba? Marunong ka ba? Mahusay ka ba magluto?
Marunong ko magluto, but I just you
Haven't got
have
the time.
to have some patience. Yeah. Well, hindi naman. No. I mean, I wish that were the case. I'm just not. Kailangan may pasensya ka, no? No.
Really?
Because it takes a while. Yeah. No. You have to chop things up. Tapos kailangan mo hintay, water boiling. You can't put it in if it's hindi nga mainit yung mantika, no? And I have no patience. No, I just want my food there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit about, you know what though, I've been watching kalimutan ko Netflix or yung Prime. There's it's called American Barbecue or something.
Oh, really?
No? So and they are
okay. Yan ang title. American Barbecue. Hanapin ko nga yan.
Yeah, I think it's American
So
Barbecue.
either Netflix or Prime
yeah.
Video,
Yun na nga. So they are cooking, and I was mesmerized because I have never seen such large slabs of meat, no? I mean, sa atin, di ba? Mayroon tayo mga lechong baboy, no?
Yes.
And so it's not unusual for us to see quite big things, but I mean, these are, the ribs, for example, they're gigantic.
Wow.
I've never seen such big
Talaga?
things. Like, there's something they call tomahawk ribs, no? And it really looks like those tomahawks, no?
So puro barbecue
they're
lang.
Huge.
Puro barbecue
Yeah.
ang pinaka parang slant ng program nila, o pinaka theme ng program, mga barbecues,
Yeah.
Pero healthy ang barbecues, kung tutuusan, di ba? Healthy ang barbecues.
Well,
Because
depends really
parang-
kung anong lagay nila.
Pero alam mo, attorney, because now that I've started reading up on the proper way of chopping, yung mga ganyan, yung mga paghiwa, ano pa ba, basta, yung, di ba sabi mo, yung pag-init ng mantika, no? Minsan, bibili nga tayo, di ba, may mga non-stick pans, no? Pero minsan, nag-stick pa rin yung, ano. Meron silang way daw how to make, kunyari, for example, yung mga, ano pangalan ito? Yung ano ba yung mga pans? The pans are the, stainless steel, di ba? Stainless steel, cast iron, merong glass din, yung I don't know, Corning, yung Corning ba yun? Corning ba sa glass, yeah? Parang, how do you call it? Skillet na glass. But anyway, I've been reading up kasi nga, di ba, kailangan yung pagluluto. Sabi nga, yung mga non-stick na yan, mga Teflon, di ba, medyo unhealthy din. Pagka, di ba, yung mga non-stick. Delikado yan pagka na-scratch mo. Because kaya you have to be very careful when you have to cook. Gumamit ka ng mga silicone na, na mga yung mga utensils, mga di ba? Para hindi masugatan.
Yeah.
Kasi gusto mong protektahan yan eh. But did you know, napakarami palang pagkamamahal na mga cookware, no? Di ba? Yung mga minsan 100 pounds yung mga pans nila, no? I wish to buy them, no? Eventually, if it's healthy. Kaya lang, at the moment, it's more of learning how to cook and knowing kung tama ba yung ginawa mo, kung naluto mo, tama ba? Kasi maaaring panlasa ko yon, di ba?
Oo nga.
Pero people who will taste it, baka wala. Ikaw ba, ano na naluto mo ba? Okay, wala kang pasensya, but before ba, when you were younger, o hindi ka talaga nagluluto talaga? May tagaluto ka?
Oh, ako, it's not really something that I've ever enjoyed, unfortunately. Not to say that I enjoy eating a lot. Yeah.
Talaga. Okay.
So kung ano man nasa harap ko, I mean, I'm happy to eat. It could just be rice, may kamatis nga, may bagoong. Happy to have that. O kaya may
Gusto ko
tuyo,
yan. Kamatis lang. Tuyo.
Yeah.
Fried sinangag.
Yeah, sinangag. Yeah, that's very nice, no? But kung kailangan kong luto, kahit nga lang kahit isda lang, no? Kaya I have no patience nga. I just don't like. I would rather be doing other things, no?
Okay.
But anyway, so that's my fault.
But what do you eat? Sa family, sino nagluluto? Yung hobby mo ba? Who does the cooking?
Yeah. No. Otherwise, hindi kami. Otherwise, I'd be starving now. No. So no. I mean, mainly. So like tonight, I think we're going to have meatballs. Okay. So
okay.
Spaghetti meatballs nga. With a bit of pasta, no?
Wow.
And actually, someone gave me some tuyo at the weekend.
Uy,
so I'm
wow,
going
to
cook that this weekend. Yeah, tuyo with a little bit of yung kamatis nga. Actually, that I do have to cook. He doesn't know how to do it nga. So I would need to cook
May
that.
special na luto pa ba ang tuyo? Di ba? Pina-fry mo yan?
No, just fried, no? But
Oo.
yung nga lang, he's not really comfortable with frying it. So anyway, I also like my tuyo
yung smell kasi, di ba?
crispy.
Yung amoy. Crispy. Well,
Yeah.
talking of tuyo, na-miss ko yung dilis. Alam mo yung dilis? The small ones, di ba?
Oo nga.
Yeah. So, bumili kami sa may Korean restaurant. Korean supermarket. Pero hindi malasa eh. Yung parang very bland. Hindi ko na I'd like the dilis that we have in the Philippines, no? Yun ang masarap eh. Pati yung tuyo. Tuyo, nakakamiss talaga na it brings back memories when we were young, di ba? Kamatis, di ba? Minsan nagkakamay ka pa. Nakakamiss ang tuyo, no? Tuyo talaga yan ang pinaka pero mahal yan dito yata. Magkano ba? Konti lang panaso yata. Ewan ko, 5 pounds yun. Di ba? Paano mo nakuha yung tuyo mo? Who's giving si Miss Giling-Giling? Giling-Giling tuloy. Si Miss Giling?
Not last weekend because not last week. I haven't seen nga Miss MM but yeah, it's clients actually very kind clients give me tuyo. But tuyo, of course, kailangan kainin nyo with it has to be hand thing, but you don't, you can't cut it, diba?
Okay, tama.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to my tuyo this weekend, and actually this week has been a bit of a blur. It's been quite busy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been I don't know. Do you find with the lockdown easing a little bit, things that people are more willing to come out? Things seem to be getting back to some normality, which is great.
Businesses are open. We went to Emsley Shopping Center ba yan? Diyan sa may anong lugar ba? Staines yata yun. Busy yung mga shops bukas. So, yes, which is good, no? Sana hopefully tuloy-tuloy na to at we get back to normalcy. Parang sa ganun back to business, lahat ng business activities babalik na ulit for a long time na nag-stall ang economy natin, no? Okay, attorney, tonight magbabati tayo pero ang topic natin tonight is something about, bigyan mo nga lang parang pahapyaw lang ba? Ito yung Brexit and EU. Ano ba yan, no? Bago tayo magbasa-basa ng mga pagbate. Para just to let pa sa teaser lang kung anong para sa kanila yan. Ano ba yan? Ano ba ang di-discuss mo for tonight?
Okay, so Brexit, as everyone knows, has happened nga, and may iba-ibang mga there've been deadlines, and also people are a bit confused as to what can you do. Can you still come in, for example, kung EU citizen ka? If you're coming in with family, can that happen? When can that happen nga? So I thought, given that a big deadline coming up is, of course, the 30th of June, which is only a few, well, really a few weeks away, a couple of months nga away, no? Thought we can concentrate nga on the particular issues that arise because nga yung Brexit at saka yung EU. So one thing, so we thought maybe we can do it in 3 parts. Dahil laki nga nung topic, ano? So what I said talagang malawak nga. So one thing that this week nga, especially today, I've had a lot, I've been asked actually a couple of times, even just today, is what's the position kung British citizen nga nakatira sa EU, no? Sabihin natin Germany, Italy, ganoon, ano?
Yeah, or any,
tapos
yes,
may pamilya dun sa atin, tapos gusto nila bumalik na nga dito, given the Brexit issue, no? So dito na nga sila titira.
Teka muna.
Pamilya,
Ang sinasabi mong kunyari, British citizen na napunta let's say anywhere in Europe, Germany, Italy, Spain, may pamilya sa Pilipinas. So, ano to, parang Pilipino na British?
Hindi. So, sabihin natin, yung British, nasa Germany, sabihin natin.
Yeah,
no?
okay.
Nakatira doon.
Yes.
Kinasal sa Germany, o kahit saan man, and then yung asawa niya, yung sabihin natin Pinay, no? Nandun din sa Germany. So, doon sila nakatirang pareho. No? Now, yung British, at saka yung, of course, yung asawa niya, yung Pinay nga, gusto nilang bumalik dito sa UK. Dito na nga sila titira. At the moment, nandun nga sila sa, sabihin natin sa Germany o any EU or EEA state nga. Now, yung anong kailangan ng Pilipino kung papasok nga siya dito, so makapasok siya. So anong klaseng visang kailangan niya? Dahil of course, nabago na nga din ito, the Brexit.
Di ba, attorney, pagka nandito kunyari, like for example, may isang Polish or any EU nationality prior to the December 31, halimbawa, at nakapag-stay na rito, may spouse o dependent, ang tawag EEA family dependent yata. Ito bang, for example, Pilipina na nasa Germany, na asawa Briton, na doon sila nanirahan, and then finally decided siguro bumalik dito, ang visa parang niya ron EEA family dependent doon? Parang ganun? O depende sa bansa yan? Sa atin lang yung EU family dependent, sa UK lang. Pag nasa Germany ba, sa EU, have you got an idea kung ganun ba magiging visa nila? Dahil yun magiging dependent doon sa ano, di ba? Kunyari, kung British yun, doon inasawa, at doon mag-asawa o magkasama, doon siya dependent ng ano, di ba, of an EU citizen doon sa Germany.
Yeah. Yun na nga. So it is certainly equivalent to, because that was the that was the point now of EU and EEA state, no? So there was there was freedom of movement between those countries. So kung ano man kung sino man nanditong Polish, they would be enjoying or should be enjoying the same rights before nga we Brexited as those British citizens in the, sabihin natin, in Poland, no? But of course that has changed now, having Brexited. So the scenario we have today is if you have someone who is British, who's been living in Germany and exercising, if you like, their treaty rights in Germany, no? So dun sila nagtatrabaho, dun sila nakatira ngayon, and nandun yung asawa. Yeah, pre-Brexit. Pero yung asawa, hindi EU. No? Yung asawa, sabihin natin Filipino passport holder. So, anong kailangan nilang gawin kung babalik nga sila dito?
Ayan. So, yun.
Dito na sila titira. Anong kailangan?
Okay. Anong gagawin nila?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yan ang pag-usapan.
So, yun
sige.
pag-usapan.
Babati muna tayo. Part 1 muna dahil malawak yung topic na yan. No? Medyo hihimay-himay ni attorney yan at marami yan. So, okay, let's make way to mga pagbati dito. No? Ito, attorney, nababasa mo ba yan? Ayan.
Yeah. So, good evening, Attorney Lira and Mr. Sonny Laragan, the Pogi from Latanma.
Mark Natal. Mark, mabuhay ha. Ikaw talaga, Mark ha. Nagbablush tuloy ako ha. Ikaw ha. Okay. Teka muna, sino ba next natin? Meron tayong mga bumabate. So you can watch us also live on YouTube, no? Pareho din, the Filipino TV Europe. Kung gusto niyo na mas malinaw na ano tag dito, na video, no? Okay, next, oops, asa na ba to? We're looking for our, nawala tuloy itong ating asa na ba yung ating, ito. Okay, Ayan, ito, mga regular natin mga friends, no? Attorney, lumalabas ba dyan sa'yo?
Yeah, Mr. Libroho, Rudy Libroho. So, a lot of smiley faces. So, masayang Huwebes po, Sir Sonny and Attorney Lovely Lira and kababayan from Belfast. Oh, yes.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Hope, yeah. Hello, Mr.
Okay.
Libroho.
Ayan. Okay. Good evening, Rudy, no? Mabuhay dyan, no? And of course, eto, ayan, si Miss Panera.
Miss Paner, yeah. So sabi niya, hello po, Kuya Sonny and Attorney Lira. Good evening po. Happy Thursday po at sa lahat. And stay safe and God bless us po. Yeah, no, it's a heart emoji. Yeah,
Heart
no, thank
emoji,
you po, Miss Paner. Ikaw, yeah.
Ang galing naman ng mga comment na napansin mo kay Rudy pala. Kumbaga, naging parang, smiley in the beginning, smiley at the end, no? Parang ganon. It opens and closes his message, no? Ito, ito panibago, hindi siya naka, ano pangalan ito? Naka all caps?
Yeah,
Parang
what
nahiya.
happened to the all caps?
Ba't nakakamiss pagka gano'n, no? Pagka nasanay ka na laging all caps, no? Parang magagalit ka na, maaasar ka na. Parang, ba't ganito? Parang hindi yata, no? Parang galit siya sa amin. Baliktad din. Pagka maliliit, parang galit siya. Evelyn, mabuhay.
It feels a little bit sad, yung message niya. Because without the all caps.
Without the all caps. Oo.
Yeah.
Nakakapanibago di ba? Parang trademark na ni Emily niya pag naka-all caps. Pag hindi ka naka-all caps, parang galit ka sa amin. Parang no? The other way around. So, thank you very much, Emily, ha? Mabuhay ka, ha? Oo, nag-celebrate ng birthday niya recently yan, di ba?
Happy birthday po.
Itong early part ng month natin.
Okay.
Oo. Ayan, okay. Sa YouTube, attorney, yan, pakibasa lang.
Okay, from Rose Hobbs. Thank you for watching from YouTube. So, magandang gabi po, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. Mabuhay mga kababayan. Happy Thursday sa lahat. Nanonood po sa inyong programa. Miss Hobbs, kumusta po?
Mabuhay. Thank you very much, ha. Mabuhay ka, ha. Maganda yung picture, photo niya. Hobby kaya niya yan? Yung kasama niya, yan ba ang iyong hobby? No? Rose Hobbs. Rose, mabuhay. Ito. One of our, we missed her for a few, andiyan ba siya last week? Parang hindi ko yata nakita to. Nag-check-in.
No, wala ata. Yeah, no, yeah.
Parang hindi natin siya napansin last week, no? Yes.
Yes, I don't think she messaged us, Miss Susan Francisco Batong Bakal. So, good evening, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sonny. Happy Thursday to all. Yeah, no. Happy Thursday po.
Meron kaming neighbor sa Caloocan ng araw, attorney, kung saan ako lumaki, no? Yata, si Attorney Batong Bakal yata yan. Batong Bakal family yun, eh. So, yung anak niya was a schoolmate of mine, pero parang mas ahead ako ng year dun sa anak yata niya. Sa Notre Dame to, sa Grace Park, Caloocan City. So, mabuhay, Susan, ha? Thank you for watching. And of course, ito, si kaibigan natin, yan. Juliet Marcelino, no? Oo.
Yeah.
Ayan.
So watching actually from YouTube, ano? So good evening, Sonny and Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday to all. It's a smiley face. Yeah.
Good evening, Juliet, ha. Si Juliet taga Grace Park din niya. Grace Park nga ba si Juliet, no? Nagiging kakilala na natin, nagiging kaibigan natin yung mga viewers natin, eh. Ayan, si Marinel, attorney. Si Marinel na lang dahil mahirap bigkasin yung kanyang apelyido, eh. Hindi naman tumatawag, hindi naman para alamin natin kung ano para pronunciation. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, attorney.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, I think ibang picture niya, but it's lovely actually.
Iba ba ang picture niya previously? Iba ba ang picture niya previously?
Okay. This is a beautiful picture. Yeah, so sabi nga niya na good evening to both of you. Yeah, no, good evening. It's lovely.
Good evening, Marinel, Marianel ba? Marinel, no? Marinel, good evening. Ito, okay, sino ba to? Si Evelyn, attorney.
So Evelyn Gould, so sabi po niya,
Gould
hello
lang, no?
po, good evening, Gould. Yeah. Look at that, yung background niya. Looks like she's there on holiday there, no?
Saan kaya? Maganda kanyang background, ha? Maganda. Okay. Yan siguro yung husband niya, no? Hubby niya. Or partner, hindi natin alam. Ito yung paborito mo, yung pinag-uusapan natin.
Yes, no, our lovely Miss M.M. Giling. Yeah, no, so watching us from Facebook. So sabi niya, hi, good evening po and happy Thursday, sir, and lovely ma'am. Yeah, no, Yeah, no,
Hoy.
hi, Miss Giling. Yeah,
Oo.
Sabi ko narinig mo yung sinasabi namin kanina.
Oo nga, oo. Baka siguro, nakagat niya yung dila niya siguro. Or, oo. She messaged about 3 minutes ago, no? Hi, Miss Giling, no? Mabuhay ka. MM pala, MM. Ano ba ang real name ni MM? Marcelina o Immaculada? Ano bang first name ni... Would you know her surname? Her name? Miss Giling.
Emma.
Emma. Kaya,
Giling.
ba't MM Giling. Emma, mabuhay ka, ha? Ganda naman ang photo niya, no? Parang nasa tabing dagat siya, no? That's good, no? Okay. Mecca Micah. Oy, Mecca. Ha? Good evening.
yeah.
Oo. Sabi niya,
Yeah,
ano yan?
so it's,
Good evening po, Sir Sonny and Attorney Gandang Lira, ha? Kita mo naman, Attorney.
Wow.
Ha? Happy watching everyone, no? Oy, thank you. Ang bait mo naman,
Salamat
Micah,
po.
no? That's good.
No, yun na.
O, ikaw naman kay Joan, pangalan to? Joan Siraon. Ayan, attorney.
Okay, tingnan natin. Yeah, John Sarosa. Good evening po, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. And stay safe po. Ikaw nga din, no?
Ikaw din, Joan, no?
Stay safe.
Siraon. Okay, good. Magandang ano. Meron si Joan Lorenzana, attorney, hindi mo kilala yan. Singer siya na back in the 80s sa Pilipinas. Marami siyang mga number one hits songs sa Pilipinas. Nakausap ko siya yesterday ba o the other day yata. So, si Joan Lorenzana, no? Marami siyang songs mga Joanna.
Okay.
Joan. May E siya. J-O tapos capital A tapos double N-E. Lorenzana.
Okay.
And hopefully
Yeah,
we're going to be
making a note.
interviewing her.
Oh, talaga? I'm making a note because I want to listen to her. So I'll Google her
Oh,
later.
yes.
and listen to
Oh,
music.
Joan. J-O tapos capital A double N-E Lorenzana, no? Si Joan Lorenzana. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ito, si Don War, siguro, attorney, bago tayo magpunta na doon sa iyong didiscuss na topic for tonight, no?
Okay, so Don War, so sabi po niya, watching us from Facebook. So good evening, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. Good evening po. Good evening.
Ayan. Okay. Ayan, Don War, mabuhay yan, ha? Mabuhay kayo. So, welcome sa ating program. Doon sa mga ngayon lang nakapag-tune in who are watching us right now, no? Live ho tayo. Ito ang Immigration Corner. Okay, attorney, eto na. Yung tatalakayin mo, no? Ito na ho yung tatalakayin ni attorney kanina binabanggit niya. Halimbawa, for example, isang British guy na nandun, let's say, any part of Europe kasi nagkaroon ng free movement dati. Yun ang prinsipyo ng EU, no? Free movement, no? At nandun sa UK, sa EU, so it could be Germany or Spain or Italy or France.
Yeah.
At ngayon ay nag-decide ng bumalik yata, no? Dito kasama ang asawa halimbawa na Philippine passport. Philippine passport ba, attorney, di ba?
Opo.
Tama ba?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
O sige, attorney, sandali lang,
Okay.
ano natin yung i-discuss muna, no? Sandali lang. Okay. All right. Ito na. Ayan. So, Brexit and EU, malawak ho itong pag-uusapan. Kaya kuha ko kayo ng mga notes, ballpen, lapis, or whatever, para so you can take down notes. So, attorney, sige, take it away.
Okay. All right. So, yung nga po, Brexit and EU is quite a big topic nga. So, we'll deal with them in parts. So, part 1 po natin ngayon, ito pong scenario. So, yung nga sinasabi ni Sonny kanina, yung sabihin natin yung British citizen, no? Is in an EU country, so let's just say Germany, no? Tapos doon na nakatira muna ngayon, and that the British citizen is married to sabihin natin na Filipino national, Pinay, no? And now because of Brexit, ang gusto nang gawin, gusto nang bumalik nga dito. So, question is, of course, hindi nga problema for the British to come back to the UK and indeed live in the United Kingdom. But what can they do, or what should be done or considered nga for the non-EU spouse? So let's assume in this case nga na Pinay nga yung spouse. So you have someone who is British, married to a Pinay, but living in an EU country. So let's just say Germany, for example, or it could be France, it could be Italy. Now, so what can they do for the Pinay nga to come into the UK under the current EU law, regulations nga. So, to come into the UK, unang-una for the Pinay nga, you can look, or they can firstly look at what's called a family permit, no? Now, to obtain family permit, they need to be able to show that the Pinay is coming to the UK with a British citizen sponsor returning here, or indeed joining the sponsor who's already in the UK. And, huwag niyong kalimutan to, no? That the British citizen, okay, was living and exercising his treaty rights. So nagtatrabaho, for example, in that EEA state or that EU country, let's say, no? Yun ang una. Now, if you can show that, then makakakuha kayo ng visa as under, or rather a family permit. Now, that family permit, beware, will only be valid until the 30th of June 2021. So not long from now. Now we're headed towards the end of April, no? So May and then June. So a little over 10 weeks nga lang. Now, kung meron na kayong visa, kung meron na kayong family permit nga ngayon, those viewers nga natin that already have that, so they may have a visa, for example, or family permit until September or in August, no? Beware, that visa or that permit actually will still expire on the 30th of June 2021. So, it doesn't matter ako nung pecha nandoon beyond the 30th of June 2021, the family permit will cease to exist. Wala na yun from the 30th of June 2021. But at the moment, it's still there. So yung Pinay can make an application for family permit to come into the UK and obviously join the British citizen. So yun ang una. Sabihin natin you don't come in prior to the 30th of June. Or indeed, it's also a choice that you can make now. You can apply for a what's called an EU settlement family permit while, say, you are in Germany. No? So that's the second possibility, the second route. It's called the EU settlement scheme family permit. Now, that, as I say, you can also use after the 30th of June 2021, but before the 29th of March 2022. Okay, so I'll go on a little bit more about that. So there, kung makakuha kayo ng visa ganoon, then it would only be valid, bibigyan kayo ng visa for 4 months, no more than that. Now, what do you need to show in order to get the EU settlement scheme family permit? Now, the Pinay in this case will need to be living in the EEA country. In this case, no, we were using Germany as an example. Before, with the British citizen, before the 1st of January 2021. Okay, so before obviously up until the 30th of December 2020. So the 1st of January, so they need to be living in that that EEA state before the 1st of January 2021. Now, the application is submitted nga online from outside the UK. Kailangan yung valid passport, British family members valid passport, also marriage certificate nyo, evidence of residence in the EEA state, yeah, evidence that the British citizen nga is exercising treaty rights in that state, so nagtatrabaho nga doon. So for example, employer letter, payslip, mga ganon. So that's the second possibility. Yeah? Now, you can then, so therefore you can make an application under the one of the two routes, at least at the moment, until the 30th of June. So either a family permit or an EU settlement scheme family permit. No? Both will give you the possibility to come into the United Kingdom as the non-EU spouse of the British citizen, who, of course, you were living with in the EU country. Now, sabihin natin nakakuha kayong ganon. So either you have a family permit or you have an EU settlement family permit. Nandito na kayo sa UK. What do you then do? No? Now, once in the UK, you will need to apply, because of course 4 months nga lang yung visa mo, you need to make an application under the EU settlement scheme for what's called a pre-settled status. Maraming mga kababayan natin, they've heard the term, I'm sure, the pre-settled status. Now, that application will need to be made before the 29th of March 2022. Yeah? What do you need to show additionally? You need to be able to show that the Pinay nga is a family member of the British citizen. So, for example, marriage certificate nga, and you both lived in the outside the United Kingdom in an EEA country together. Okay. Now, ito din, this gets a bit, it's quite, it gets even more complicated, unfortunately. So, yung asawa, yung British citizen, the spouse is what they call a qualifying British citizen. Now, what does that mean? That means that the spouse or the British citizen nga, the qualifying British citizen, must have returned to the UK with you by a certain date. Now, the date the deadline date depends on when the marriage was contracted. Kailan kayo kinasal? If you got married after the withdrawal date, nung umalis nga tayo, so nag-Brexit na nga tayo, which was on the 31st of January 2020, then you need to have returned by the 31st of December 2020. So lagpas na nga. If, however, you were married before the 31st of January 2020, okay, then yung return date nyo, no, the qualifying British citizen spouse, the return date must be no later than the 29th of March 2022. Okay, so you have a little bit of time. Now, provided you can show also that yung visa nyo, pumasok kayo dito as a under the then EU regs nga, you are jointly and genuine residents in the UK, and of course you were exercising, your partner was exercising his treaty rights in the EEA state, and as I've said, you are in the UK now. Then what you would get is pre-settled status. Now, the pre-settled status would be no more than 5 years. During that time, pwede nga kayong, pwede kayong magtrabaho nga dito, you can access NHS, you can also come in and out of the UK, hindi yung kailangan panibagong visa. But the deadline, as I've said there, is that you need to have to make the application no later than the 29th of March 2022. Okay. Now, the application there, one of the few applications that need to be submitted on paper, oddly enough. And there you need to show evidence of the British sponsor living in the EU country, details of the joint residence nyo doon, sasabihin natin sa Germany, prove that you are indeed in a relationship, so marriage certificate nga, and of course, evidence of their British sponsors now residents in the United Kingdom. Now, kung meron na kayong pre-settled status in the UK, as I've said, 5 years makukuha nyo. Once that 5 years is up, then you can actually make an application for settled status, and that gives you then indefinite leave to remain in the United Kingdom. So, what should perhaps be emphasized nga at the moment is, if you are in an EU country nga, you are not a British citizen, but you are, sabihin natin, married to one, okay? And you want to come to the UK to live here, you can do that, okay? But just beware nga of what you need to do. So at the moment, as I've said, there are two routes under the current system, and it is family permit or EU settlement scheme family permit. Pagka nandito na kayo, you must apply, no, under the EU settlement scheme. No? It is very important that you do, and if you do not, then you will be treated an overstayer. No? the quality yung asawa nyo, British citizen, of course, that's not going to be an issue necessarily for them, but you then miss out on leave to remain. Now, apart from that, of course, you can revert back to the immigration rules, that is spousal rules. But really, if possible, you don't want to have to rely on the immigration rules, the normal spousal rules, because for one thing, there may bayad, no? And at the moment, kung magpasok yung application dito is £1,052.20 plus the IHS surcharge. If you are making an application under the spousal route nga. And there are many more conditions involved. Under the family permit, and indeed the EU settlement scheme, and then later on the EU settlement scheme pre-settled status, it's free. Yeah. So there certainly are that's already a big advantage nga. And potentially you may be able to get nga to the indefinite leave to remain potentially a little bit sooner. Although spouse application still requires 5 years, but it may be an easier route. So kung nandun nga kayo, you want to come into the country, bear in mind you can, but you need to be sure that you adhere to the deadlines po. And then you must also make sure you bring your documents now with you, because a lot of this is of course dependent on being able to prove certain things. And that's right, actually, as Sonny there has noted, the EU settlement scheme family permit coming into the UK. So it's quite important you adhere to those to the deadlines. No? I mean, this is actually this is for the EU a settlement here. Separately from that, of course, is kung British nga yung asawa nyo, and they're coming into the UK, coming back to the UK with you. And it's a good source actually of information, as long as you can decipher it. The Home Office website, yung nga lang, there's quite a bit to it, because it's not, when you're looking, be careful when you're looking at the website nga, you can see a summary, no, on the website, but there are policy documents additionally that guidance nga, that you need to also have a look at, because it's quite complex. It can be quite confusing. Yeah.
Okay na ba, attorney?
Yeah.
Tapos na. Okay. And then I was just showing them, no? Ito. I was just showing them. Ito. So you were mentioning about a spouse, but ito, marami pala, no? Family members you can join. You must be their spouse or civil partner. Ano, sino ba ito? Ano ba? Yung family permit, halimbawa, EEA family permit, that is applied dito sa UK? Dito ina-apply niya, attorney?
Yeah. So the family permit and the EU settlement scheme family permit are applied for from abroad.
From abroad. Sa labas.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So you also have to be, what we're discussing now is someone who's married to a British citizen, no? So not an EU national, but
Okay.
someone who is actually British, but in an EU country coming in. In fact, what you were just saying there, I think that should be part 2 of the topic, because that's also a big topic. So
okay.
EU nationals.
Okay, attorney, I was just parang taking notes kanina, no? So, may mga, may qualifying, may mga dates May mga dates kasi nasabi, medyo doon ako na,
Yeah.
no? I wasn't able to follow. May 4 months visa. Ano yung, on the second, which is the EU Settlement Scheme Family Permit, na you were mentioning,
Yeah.
those are the 2 routes. Parang, one is, kung maagap ka, very early ka, you can do on the yung family permit, no? Pero kung medyo lumagpas ka doon sa, kailan yung deadline isa? At pag lumagpas ka, the other option is the, June 30 ba yan? Yung parang deadline yata.
Yeah.
Oo.
Yeah.
Tapos, 30th of June. Pagka lumagpas ka ron, then ang remedy mo or yung strategy mo would be yung EU Settlement Family Scheme. You mentioned a 4 months thing. Ano yung 4 months na visa? You will be given a 4 months
Okay.
visa. Ano sabi mo na yun kanina?
Okay. So unang-una po, kung nandun nga kayo, so the scenario is you're married to a British citizen, you're both living in Germany, pero Pilipino ka, no? Now, there are two routes, at least at the moment, to come back to the United Kingdom with the view to living in the UK. So at the moment, there's this thing called still family permit. Yun
Family
ang una.
permit.
Yung family permit na yun, that will expire, it will cease to exist by the 30th of June 2021.
Oo.
June. So 10 weeks
May,
from now.
may nabanggit ka kasi na maski meron kang permit na ganun, let's say September ang expiration, it will still expire on the 30th of June. Yun ang sabi mo yata kanina.
Tama ka.
Tama, oo.
Absolutely correct nga to
Teka
emphasize
muna.
that. So,
Teka muna, bakit sinabing September? Halimbawa, sabi mo nga kaya, parang yung permit na yan, na-apply na yan, yung family permit na yan, na-apply yan, tapos, ano ba yan, binibigay ng 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 1 year? Because you were mentioning earlier that, let's just say, kung mag-expire yung nasabing visa on the 30th, in September, still, masusunod pa rin yung expiration ng yung sa 30th of June.
yeah. So, it doesn't matter nga kung anong anong petsang nandun sa family permit, no? So, the thing to emphasize is, kahit nga sabihin natin matatapos in August or September, yung family permit, beware, the family permit process nga mismo will cease to exist by the 30th of June. So, you
Ayun.
can't use the family permit anymore after the 30th of June. So, what you can, however, do after that time, or indeed now, because it's open now also, is to make an application for a family permit, so an EU settlement scheme family permit. So at the moment, to come into the UK under, if you like, EU law, if I can put it roughly like that, is family permit, because that still exists until the 30th of June, o kaya the EU settlement scheme family permit. Now, yun, ang bisang bibigay sa'yo, no more than 4 months. So sabihin natin, nagpasok ka ngayon, nakakuha ka ngayon, no? So of course, 4 months, April na tayo, May, June, July, August. No?
Okay.
So that will
So
expire in
yun,
August.
4 months yun.
Yun
Yun ang
nga.
sinasabi mo.
That's
oo.
the 4 months. Yeah.
Ah,
So pagka nandito na kayo, then of course, because that's expiring in 4 months' time, what can you do? That is when you have the EU settlement scheme in the United Kingdom. So this now, nandito ka na, no? You make then an application, like a lot of people are making at the moment, for pre-settled status under the EU settlement scheme. No? Now, the deadline for doing that, though, is under this at the moment is the 29th of March 2022. Okay? Which obviously also gives
mahaba
a
pa,
little
1
bit
year.
more time.
Almost 1
Yeah.
year, no? Sabihin na natin, 11
Yun na
months,
nga.
no?
Yeah. So, but of course, kung matatapos naman na yung EU settlement scheme family permit mo, you need to make an application, of course, before that, no? Before the 29th of March 2022. So, pagka nagpasok kayo ng application under the EU settlement scheme for pre-settled status, kung makakuha kang visa, ang visa bibigay sa'yo 5 years. No? And during that time, pwede kang labas-pasok nga dito, pwede kang magtrabaho, pwede kang kumuha ng NHS assistance nga. So all those things you still can do. And as I say, as long as you remain in that relationship nga, in 5 years' time, pwede kang magpasok ng permanent ng settled status, which is, of course, indefinite leave to remain.
And then, 1 day after, maski 1 day lang, pwede ka na mag-apply ng citizenship. Ganun ba yan? Di ba?
Yeah. So there, if you are married to a British citizen, which you would be,
Oo.
okay,
Married eh.
you
Kaya lang,
can, yeah. So as long as you're married to a British citizen, you can actually, yes, you're right, you can make an application,
The
and
next
you
day.
have indefinite leave to remain. You can make an application the next
You
day.
got you obtained your may papers na formalize na, meron ka ng meron ka ng indefinite leave to remain. The following day pwede ka na mag-apply ng citizenship. Tama ba 'yun?
As long as you are married
Yes,
still
as
to
long
the
as you're
British
married. Yes.
citizen.
Oh, yes. Oh. So tama ako ron. Yun ang nakuha kong lesson
Tama
sa'yo,
ka.
attorney eh. Dahil nakuha ko yan.
Yeah,
Sa'yo ko lang
tama ka,
mapupulot.
tama ka.
Sa'yo ko lang mapupulot yan. Di
No,
ba?
I tell you, it's a good pickup nga, no? Because it's quite a confusing topic because of course a lot
Oh, di ba?
a lot
1 year
people
eh.
say, okay, 3 years nga. Yeah, yun
3
nga.
years.
Yun,
Oh, okay,
yun.
3 years.
Yeah, so well, the 3 years, just to confuse things even more nga, that usually if you are married to a British citizen, tapos in there for a minimum of 3 years, you can then make an application for
naturalization.
For naturalization, no? But of course, in this, as long as you have indefinite. But in this case, of course, you won't get your indefinite for 5 years. So by that time, of course, kasal ka na over 3 years. That is why you can make an application immediately.
The following, kaya ganun, no? Kasi yung 5-3 rule nung araw, di ba? Pagka married ka sa isang British citizen, pag naka-obtain ka ng 3 years mo, baka ka na mag-apply. That was the olden times yata yun, the olden rule, no? So, ayan. Okay, linawin lang natin, attorney, yung mga dating mga, kunyari, Spanish citizen, Pinoy, mga French citizen, Italian, whatever, no? Bago mag December 31 ba yon yung January 31 yung kailangan 31 yata pinag-usapan natin December 31 attorney di ba na humahabol kailangan makahabol pag nakapasok ka pag nakapasok ka you're given until the 30th of June to more or less formalize na yung stay mo rito ganun ba yun pagkakaunawa natin dati attorney
yun na nga so there was a transitional provision after we Brexited, and that transitional provision ended on the 30th of December last 2020.
Okay.
So,
yes.
So one of the key dates nga is the 1st of January 2021. No? So if you're in the United Kingdom anyway now, and you were in the UK obviously before the end of the transitional provision, then absolutely, you in any event, you should make an application under the EU settlement scheme, and you should do that before the 30th of June, 2021. Another deadline. So it's quite.
Puro mga deadlines, puro mga.
Yeah.
Pero
so ang daming deadlines.
So ngayon, yung mga EU citizens na papasok na ngayon, mahirapan na, parang wala na, no? Hindi na, kunyari, let's say, uy, nahuli kami. Sayang, kasi, kainitan ho ng pandemic. Hindi kami makadiskarte, makapunta sa UK. Na, syempre, they would see, marami kasi nagpapatotoo rito ng yung mga Spanish citizens, Italian or whatever, na mas malaki ang kinikita nila rito compared, let's say, sa Spain, di ba? Yung mga parehong trabaho. So, kung papasok sila ngayon sa kunyari, isang EU citizen na Pinoy, hindi na, no? Mahina na, malabo na. Ano na ang situation?
Well, I mean, they have missed the deadline, no? So, and that's the whole point nga of Brexit, because naputol nga yung free movement ng mga tao, no? So, kung wala nga sila dito pa rin, then they would need to come in along with in the same way as a Filipino, no? They need to satisfy certain rules and to be able not to work in the UK. Unless
attorney, mga Pinoy na French citizens, Pinoy na mga Spanish citizens, Pinoy na mga Italian citizens. The only way na pwede lang sila makapunta rin, siguro, hindi pa naman siguro masyado mahigpit yung wala pa naman siguro visa ang kailangan. Makakadalaw lang sila, but to come here to work and stay here for, unlike before, di ba, mabilis, no? All you have to do is to come over, find a job. In fact, ang gagalingan ng mga iba nakakakuha sila ng mga benefits, ng mga housing, kung ano-ano mga benefits, di ba? Ng mga, di ba, Spanish citizens, so I don't know kung ano mga citizens yan, no? So ngayon, wala na, malabo na yan, mahirap na yan.
Yeah, the free movement, if you like, enjoyed by British nga, and indeed EU citizens, that's ended, no? Yung nga lang, meron pa rin natitira in that certain things are you can't just simply stop. So for example nga, kung British ka, nandun ka nakatira, you want to come into the UK, and then the family member. So that's what we were discussing earlier on. So, but for the purposes nga of Brexit, the transitional provision nga ended on the 30th of December.
So, Attorney sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
So the next big deadline for those who are already in the United Kingdom, no, pero wala pa silang ginagawa, is you need to make an application for pre-settled status, kung hindi ka pa ditong 5 years, or settled status, kung nandito ka ng 5 years, no later than the 30th of June 2021. So you have 10 weeks to do it, and you should do it.
Okay. Say for example, may mga EU citizens, British citizens na who are holding out. No, siguro at the moment nag-enjoy pa sila siguro sa France or sa Germany or sa Spain or sa Italy or kung saan pa man, no. Okay, lumagpas na yung June 30th, these British citizens fell in love with Filipinos siguro by, alam mo naman, ngayon internet pwedeng mag-fall in love na, no. And there's another deadline. There's another. You said two options kasi yung family permit and the EU settlement scheme family permit, no? So, for example, yung mga kababayan natin na in love, halimbawa, beyond June 30, they have to more or less fall in love and be married to that guy prior to March 22, March sabi mo March 2022.
Hindi.
Bibilisan din nila kasi kamukha nung sa EU citizens, kailangan pumasok na kayo rito na bago mag December 31 or 30 ganyan, no? Or 31 end of 2000 last year. Kailangan makahabol ka para pwede ka pang makapasok pa. Ito ngayon parang dadali natin yung situation doon sa kung kailangan mapangasawa si British na nasa Spain, Italy, kung saan man yan, kailangan maikasal sila between the period ng June 30, mas maaga-aga at least bago mag-March 2022? Would that be a good...
It's worse than that.
What do you mean worse than that?
No, it's worse than that in that kung yung kasama pag-uusapan natin. So, if they married after the withdrawal date, no, not the transitional provision, but the withdrawal date natin, which was the 31st of January 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, 2020.
2020,
okay. So last year, then they were required actually, no. So if they married, so if after the date of the withdrawal, so sandali, I gave this as an example. So if the marriage was contracted, after the date of the withdrawal, that is the 31st of January 2020.
Okay, so February 1 onwards.
Yun na nga, 2020. So, then the return date, they need to have come back, no? The qualifying British citizen,
Yung asawa,
yung asawa, need to have come back to the UK by the 31st of December 2020. Paso na din.
Paso na rin. Paso na yun.
Okay? So, yung scenario mo nga, if, so in your case...
Hindi, ang scenario ko, ganito, attorney. Ang scenario ko, di ba, these are people, kasi itong sinasabi mo, yung qualifying British, which is that, most likely that's a sponsor, the guy who's gonna be the reason why, or the guy or girl, who, as the case may be, na magiging reason para madali yung Filipino citizen or whatever, whoever they are, dito sa UK. But you mentioned kanina na ang pagka beyond June 30, the option is itong second option na, di ba? So we are talking of June 30, 2021, di ba?
2021, but that's already if you making kasal na sila, no? Kasal na sila ngayon.
Hindi pa kasal, kunyari. Ito yung situation. So, let's say kung the British guy wanted to hold out muna, dito muna ako, sige. Although maaaring hindi niya pa naisip yung ganon. Siguro beyond he's not aware of this June 30 mga kung ano-anong mga deadline. After June 30, probably he fell in love with somebody in the Philippines via online, no, internet. What is the likelihood of him, although he is still there, no? Nasa Germany, let's just say Germany. Ano ang likelihood na he falls in love, gets this fiancé, naging fiancé, ang bilis ng development ng kanilang love story. Nakuha niya kaagad ngayon dito. Sa Germany. Paano ngayon? How do you remedy that woman, that na girlfriend, if the guy decides na I'd like to go back to the UK, ito after June 30 this year, and then he wants now to bring his spouse. Maaring pinakasalan niya si Germany, no? Maaring he went back to the Philippines to marry the girl, or even sabihin na natin si Germany, nadala niya ron. Kasi baka mas madali. In fact, noong araw, I think, the easiest way of getting a relative na beyond anak na beyond 18 or mga relatives is via the EEA family dependent. So for example, before if I want to get some of my overage na anak ko, maski sino-sino, I'll go to Spain, live there for example, or go to France, wherever, and get my relatives as EEA dependent, family dependents, di ba? That would be an easier route. Pero itong case na to, yung scenario ngayon, attorney, si British guy holding out doon, not aware na merong mga deadline, but he fell in love. Now, pwede ba? Does March 2022 mean anything?
Well, the March 2022 is not directly applicable to that. So, sabihin natin, okay, kasal nga sila, he wants to come into the UK and gets a family permit, or indeed nga the EU settlement scheme family permit, then comes to the UK. Now, because hindi nga sila bumalik, yung Briton, hindi nga siya bumalik dito before, so they got married after the 31st of January 2020. He did not come back before the 31st of December 2020, no? Yung Pinay will not be entitled to apply under the EU settlement scheme, even if for pre-settled status. Dahil they did not come back, or rather the Briton did not come back before because the marriage was contracted after the withdrawal date, and he did not come back before the 31st of December 2020. Now, that means that nandito na nga sila, they would need to fall back to the normal immigration spousal rules rather than the EU settlement scheme. And the immigration spousal rules is much more restrictive. Yung nga, so for the EU settlement scheme, wala kang kailangang pakitang income, for example, no? Under the spousal route, you need the 18,600. There's also a fee, no? Under the EU settlement scheme, walang fee to the Home Office. There's a fee of £1,052.20 plus IHS of approximately £1,500, no? So the non-EU spouse is, well, it's a more difficult application because they have missed then the deadline. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na kailangan niyang papaalisin nga sila dito, no? But it's a different, iba ng batas na titingnan nila.
Okay. Well, okay. kung halimbawa yung girl nasa Pilipinas and the guy, kunyari, nothing lang, no? There would be two scenarios. If the guy, pwede naman kasi kunin pa rin ng guy, no? He comes back here, ano pa rin siya, and then he gets his wife or by a fiancé or whatever from the Philippines, direkta na as soon as he went back to the UK. Kaso, he would have to yung requirement na salary o money na kailangan niya, magiging di ba? Magiging parang one of the conditions of requirements.
Yeah.
Pero pag nandun siya sa Germany, halimbawa, o sa any part of Europe, wala yung requirement na yan. Hindi papasok yan. Kaya lang mahirap, it's difficult for a British guy, let's say nando sa Europe, to marry somebody from there, kunyari Germany nga, and dalhin dito. Mahirap ba? Mahirap talaga. You were mentioning kasi mga deadline na January 2020. Pero let's just say na up to now, nandun yung nasa Europe pa rin yung Briton, and decided to bring a spouse dito. Mahirap na, no? Mahirap na? Mahirapan ba?
Well, ang mangyayari nga doon, he would...
Pasensya na, medyo paulit-ulit ako parang trying to reconcile sa mind ko. Teka muna, ano ba strategies? Kasi he can just be here, yung lalaki, and get directly from the UK, get the spouse or marry somebody or get but kung requirement lang na siyempre, meron siyang accommodation, meron siyang income na 18,600. That could be the direct route, no? Although it's kinda medyo parang mahirap din yata yan, no? Medyo mahirap din kasi maraming mga rekasitos yan, yun nga, isang route din kung galing sa labas, paano
Tama ka. No, I mean, I think that's so kung ang sitwasyon nga yung Briton, no, nandun pa nga, having great time at the moment in Germany, sabihin natin. Pero okay, sabi niya, Bob, so he then goes off to the Philippines, sabihin natin, they get married in the Philippines, no? So yung Briton nga, nakatira pa rin sa Germany, gusto nilang bumalik dito sa UK, gusto na dito magsama nga, no? So in that situation, that Briton then so babalik nga siya nga ngayon, they will need to make it's probably better for them to make an application actually under the normal spousal route.
Normal spousal route.
Rather, because then you make an application, so nandito nga siya, yung nga lang, he needs to be able to show that of course ang income nga niya is no less than 18,600, meron nga accommodation, that the wife has done the A1 English language test, kailangan mga TB test. So all those things need to be satisfied under the usual immigration rules, and that's why tama ka, it's quite confusing actually this area of law. Dahil unang-una, there's so many deadlines, and iba-iba pa, and also on top of that, well, the reason partly it's confusing is ang ginagawa nila, they're phasing out really, no, the what has so far been enjoyed as kind of free movement, family, EU family rights. They're phasing all that out with the view to that in due course being gone, no? And so may mga tao at the moment who would satisfy, but there are many also who would not, just because of deadlines, no? So at the moment, the thing to take away from this is, kung Briton nga yung asawa mo, nandun nga kayo sa Germany, sabihin natin, gusto nyo nga pumasok dito dahil dito nang balak nyo dito na nga kayo titira. First thing is, there are two routes at the moment to come into the UK, and on that basis. It's the family permit nga, or the EU settlement scheme family permit. Both are open now. One will close, or will be gone by the 30th of June. That's the family permit.
Your first one, option one, yeah.
Your first one. So that will be gone. But the EU settlement scheme family permit will still be open. Yung nga lang, the visa you will get is only 4 months nga, no? Pero pagka nandito na kayo, you should make an application for pre-settled status. And that you should do sooner rather than later anyway. And for that to happen, yung asawa mo, you need to be able to show, the qualifying British citizen will need, you will need to show that they entered the UK within a certain date, nga, having married within a certain date, and of course that he was exercising his treaty rights back, say, in Germany. So there are few things na kailangan yung pakita. But provided you can do that, then the Pinay will get pre-settled status in the United Kingdom. But if that fails, then you missed certain deadlines, then you can still make an application on the basis of the normal route, no? That is the immigration rules. So as a spouse, that's when the 18,600 kicks in, accommodation nga, English language, for example, no? So if you can, kung nandun nga kayo, just beware, as I say, of deadlines. And if you have some people already also have a family permit, no? My advice would be use that because there's no point making another application. Yung nga lang, beware, you need to use it before the 30th of June. Pasok na kayo. Kung meron kayong family permit, pasok na kayo sooner rather than later. Pagka nandito na kayo, make an application then for pre-settled status under the EU settlement scheme. So that would be the, if you like, the simplest way of preserving nga, no, your rights under the then EU regs.
Attorney, pag sinabing pre-settled status, for example, what does it actually mean? Na parang it says that it formalizes that the spouse, the umuwi mo na yung spouse dito, yung qualifying British citizen, dumating na rito, nag-apply na, so in-apply na ng EU settlement scheme family permit, no? And sabi mo nga, 4 months ang binibigyan na visa, pre-settled na yun. What does pre-settle mean? Yung bang, for example, yung sinasabing, ano tawag dito? What happens now? Bibilang na ba siya ng mga, ano ba, 5 years ba ngayon? O ano ba ngayon? 5 years, di ba? Sisimula na ba?
So,
wala na kasi 5-3 rule, di ba? Wala na yan, di ba? Hindi na yung tipong,
wala
ano.
na po yun. Yeah, wala
So,
na
pre-settled?
Yun. So under the EU settlement scheme that's in place nga at the moment, there are two things, no? So kung lagpas na kayo ng 5 years dito, so you married to a British, so you married to an EU national nga, and you've been married for in excess of 5 years, so and that they've been exercising their treaty rights, then it's a settlement status ang application. If you fall short of 5 years, kung EU ka or your EU family member, then it's pre-settled status. So kung pre-settled status ka, it just means that you have limited leave, hindi ka pa indefinite, no? Pagka 5 taon ka na,
okay.
na total, then you swap it over to a settled status. So then you will have effectively indefinite leave to remain in the UK. So I suppose the difference between them is one is limited leave, if you look at it that way, and the other one is indefinite leave to remain. That would be the equivalent.
Okay. All right. Okay. May mga pagbati natin na some questions na papasok natin na ngayon, no?
Sure.
Okay, attorney, ito, taga Paris, France. Nako, one of my long time, listeners nung araw, at saka naging, one of my angels, si Feli Besmonte, no? She works yata sa, Iraqi ambassador's residence ng, hindi ko alam kung Iraq o Iran. Feli, mabuhay, ha? Yan, hello,
Kumusta?
sabi niya.
Thanks for watching. Yeah.
From Paris, France. Nako, yan, dumalaw pa rito sa UK para lang puntahan tayo, no? So, nung mga panahon na yun, no? Okay, sandali. Okay, so, ito, si last week yata, o last 2 weeks ago, binasa natin tong question ni Marco, no? Si Marco, si Marco, ano ba yung tanong ni Marco? Nakalimutan ko na.
Yeah, it was a good
It was
question.
a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Oo.
Yeah.
So Marco, mabuhay ka, ha? Mabuhay. Edgar Duway, yan. Sabi niya, magandang gabi. Happy Thursday, Attorney LC and legendary Sonny Laragan. Good evening, Edgar, no? Mabuhay. Siguro nakauwi na siya doon sa kanya sa bahay, no?
We missed him last week.
Yata, dahil na miss natin yung kanyang pinapakita niya sa TV, no? Yung kanyang TV. Ito, yes, Sir Sonny, ito, he is my hubby. Pilipino ba yan? We love watching your program every Thursday. Thank you very much, Rose, ha?
Salamat
Sweet
po.
naman ni Rose Hubs, no? Oo, yan, no? Hubby niya. Anong pangalan ng hubby mo, Rose? Anong name ng hubby mo? Kasi ito ba ang surname? Maganda yung surname, Hobbs, no? Maganda yung surname niya. Attorney, itong si May Tigbao Vargas, no? Watching us. Good evening, watching from Exeter, Devon. Alam mo, gusto kong puntahan niya, no? Si Miss Vargas, mabuhay ka, May, ha? Mabuhay. Meron tayong question dito, Attorney. Okay. Teka muna, ito diba? Ito ang question, may first question lang tayo dito, Attorney, ikaw na magbasa ko. Tingnan natin kung mababasa mo yan. Sige, ikaw na magbasa.
Okay, so galing po ito kay Harley.
Haranilla.
Haranilla, no?
Yan, Harley
So,
Haranilla.
sabi
Yan.
ko niya, yeah, nakatira po ako sa Ireland at kasama ang anak kong Irish passport holder. As a parent of Irish citizen, pwede po kaya akong makatravel na kasama siya o still need to get my visa para makapunta sa UK? Okay, now, um, uh, if you, okay, you're not Irish, pero yung anak mo, of course, would enjoy, no, if you like the reciprocal agreement between the UK and actually Ireland. It's the common travel area. So as between Ireland and the UK, you can still, you know, travel. Unlike the other EU countries, you would still enjoy freedom of movement. Now, unfortunately, Ms. Aranilla, the benefits that come within this common travel area does not extend to family members po. No? So although yung anak mo, clearly Irish, would benefit from so he can come in out of the UK without a problem, can study here, ganon. You can't, no? Not now anyway. So yes, so the quick answer is yes, you will unfortunately need to
Apply for a visa.
Need a visa. Yeah.
Apply for a visa, UK visa, no?
Yeah.
Oo.
Yeah, because you would not be covered by the common travel area.
May idea ka ba kung paano citizenship, how long it is obtained in dyan sa Ireland? Ito anak niya, Irish, no? Husband niya, Irish, of course. No? Siguro yun ang tatay nung bata, no? Matagal.
Yeah.
Dito kasi, di ba, it takes about, how long does it take dito? It takes about 5 years din, di ba, eventually? 5 years
Yeah,
sa spouse, generally?
Yeah.
2.5,
Yeah,
so it's 5
generally.
years. And then permanent residency, and then the next day, or pag meron ka ng permanent residency, then you can apply for your citizenship, no, for naturalization.
Yeah.
Oo,
Tama.
so ayan. O nga, bakit gano'n? No? So meron
Yeah.
pala parang reciprocal ba? Kasi minsan, di ba, dito ang balita, you can come over if you are, say for example, diniscuss natin 1 or 2 weeks ago. Itong, for example, a British citizen comes back to the UK, halimbawa, or ang pwede lang kasi from red countries, from red list, say for example Philippines, Bangladesh, now India. So
Yeah.
if you're not okay, ang pwede bumalik lang British and Irish. Laging nakasulat yan, British and Irish. Bakit, attorney?
You mean
Yun na ba
under
yun?
the COVID rules? The COVID rules?
For example, if you wanna come back, so ang rule kunyari, merong halimbawa, di ba, from the red, all flights are banned. Citizens from other country, from the countries from red listed countries, no, so red list, hindi pwede pumunta rito. Pero if you're a British stuck in the Philippines, halimbawa, sa mga red list countries, but you need to come back, pwede. You're allowed to come back, di ba?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pero sinasabi, British and Irish, lagi sinasabi, if you are a British or an Irish citizen, you can come back to the UK. Bakit sinasabi Irish holders, passport?
Because they benefit from this common travel area, no? So, pwede silang bumalik nga dito. That's the reason for it. The common travel area actually predates the EU, no? So, so kung Irish, that's why they always say
nauna predates the EU,
Irish ka.
Okay.
Predates the EU. So, so that's the reason why kung British ka nga o Irish ka, you can come in. Just by way of clarification there, Sonny. Okay, unfortunately, we're part of the red listed countries na nga ngayon, and as you say, India's I think India's joined now, ano?
Bukas pa lang. Yeah, bukas
ba?
to
Okay.
Friday.
Oh yeah,
Effective.
Friday. Yeah, no, Friday
Oo.
nga. So, now, you can still come back. Kung nasa Pinas ka, British ka, sabihin natin, Filipino-British ka, of course, you can come back to the UK. Pero sabihin natin nasa Pinas ka and you have a spouse visa, no? Or indeed, a student visa. O kaya a work-based visa. Now, kahit hindi ka nga British, pwede ka pa rin bumalik sa UK because you have what they call a resident permit, no? So, effectively, the only people they really banned are visitors. No? Yung nga lang, kung may residence permit ka nga dito, so kung ano man yung spouse visa, as I say, estudyante ka, or work-based visa, or if you're British, or indeed you're Irish, all of those people coming in from a red list countries will need to quarantine in a hotel. No?
Okay.
And that's the 10
Okay.
days one.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah.
clarifying. No? So, yun. Hindi, o kunyari, kung may student visa kayo, or student kayo, and you're coming back, and talaga ma-approve mo naman, nag-aaral ka rito, nandun ka pa sa parang term, o hindi naman semester, term, sabihin na natin. May autumn term, may spring term, I don't know, mga summer term. Ayun, pwede. At saka kung spouse,
Yeah.
no? Walang problema. Kung maski Pinoy ka,
Yeah.
pero ang asawa mo nandito, talagang namang siguro na-away ka lang dahil baka namatay ang nanay mo, o something siguro, an emergency siguro, you can, even if you're coming from the Philippines, na makabalik dito.
Yeah.
So, ayan, malinaw yan, ha? At least, yan, nag-i-stick sa atin. Okay, meron tayong, okay, attorney, ito, merong tanong si Christine sandali, ha? Christine, ilalabas ko lang yung tanong ni Christine Myra Hartley. Hi, Christine, no? Mabuhay, no? Christine Hartley, sandali, ha? Attorney. Okay, so we have, okay, ayan. Can you read the question, attorney? Pag hindi mo
Yeah,
mabasa,
sure. Okay.
sabihin mo lang sa akin. Sige, go ahead.
So galing po ito kay Facebook question galing kay Christine Myra si Hartley. So sabi po niya, hello po, ang tanong lang po, both kami ng anak ko ay British citizen na po. Kung bigla kaming pumunta sa Australia for long periods of time, mawawala po ba ang naputol, Sonny?
Yung citizenship,
po ba
okay, mawawala po ba yung citizenship
nila?
namin? Please guide me. Thank you. Ayan.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
No,
attorney.
kung British ka na, yeah, no, that's it. Kung British ka, British ka. So, the 2 years usual limitation. So, kung indefinite leave to remain ka, settled status ka nga dito, permanent residence ka then you have usually the limit of 2 years po, no? So, kung wala ka nga dito, lagpas ka ng 2 years, then babawiin nila yun. So, you will lose then your indefinite leave to remain, your permanent residence or your settlement status. Pero kung British na kayong pareho, you won't lose that unless they rescind it because of security reasons, no? Such as terrorism, that sort of thing. They can rescind in certain cases your British citizenship, or where it's been obtained by way of fraud, for example. So, pero kung British, absent that, kung British kayo, have a good time in Australia, Ms. Hartley, it shouldn't be an issue. You will not. You should not lose.
So once British na kayo, there's no. This is not like for example, you're a permanent resident, no? Yung unlimited, permanent resident, sabihin na natin, unlimited leave to remain. Pero nasa Pilipinas ka or nasa other countries ka, Australia, and you have to come back within 2 years, diba? 2 years ba, attorney?
2 years.
You have to be
2
here
years
before 2 years. Hindi pwedeng after 2 years, no? Before 2 years with lapse, no? Balik-balik ka ngayon. So may mga ganun eh. They come back to just para lang they come back pa ano? Hindi naman ini-stamp dito yata sa bansa na ito, hindi naman ini-stamp ang entry mo, di ba?
Actually, no, they kung Filipino pa, kung British ka, of course, wala silang pakialam doon. But no, they do stamp it from memory. So I'm just trying to think
they
back.
stamp it.
They do stamp it. No, tama. No.
So may stamp talaga?
You get stamp.
So okay. So may stamp ka. Permanent resident ka, pero you decided to stay most of the time outside of the country, but you have to come back before the 2 years would lapse, no? And when you come in, yun nga, tatatakan. So yeah, that's your evidence that was the last time of entry mo. O labas ka uli, parang ganun. But with a British citizen, walang limit yan. Walang time limit yan. Okay, ayan. At least natututo tayo kay attorney, no? Attorney, we have so many viewers watching us who are not actually Filipinos. Well, Filipinos but they're not the first generation like we are, no? So I'm gonna be the one to read this, attorney, kasi putol eh, di ba? Minsan na puputol. So basahin ko na. We have a question here from Joshua Hart. I don't know how to Singer. Sorry, Joshua, if I pronounce your surname wrong. If it's not correct, no. So Joshua Hatzinger, ayan. He says, I'm watching. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Joshua. I'm half Filipino, half German national. For a year and a half, I lived in Germany last 2019. Then, I moved here in the UK last December. Oh, marunong pala mag-Tagalog. Akala ko, ikaw talaga, Joshua, sakaling kita, ha? Sabi niya, then I moved here in the UK last December para makahabol ako sa settlement scheme. Then, when I was granted a pre-settled status, I immediately applied my wife and my son to the EEA settlement scheme family permit. Okay? After 6 weeks, continuation. After 6 weeks, after 6 weeks of the UK permit application, they were granted a UK entry visa. 6 weeks, siguro the time that they apply, 6 weeks. They will be here tomorrow. Unfortunately, they have to stay 10 days in a quarantine hotel. Inabot sila ng red list. Alright, okay. Teka lang, ang spouse mo nasa Pilipinas ba?
Pa rin.
Kasi bakit mangyayari yun? Kasi red list country, hindi naman galing sa Germany. So, I moved here para makabon. So, then when I go, I immediately apply for my wife to the EEA settlement. Nasaan sila, Joshua? Teka muna, do you understand the question? Parang hindi ko maintindihan eh.
Yeah.
Oo, sige.
Nasa Pilipinas sila.
Nasa Pilipinas yan dahil quarantine.
Nasa Pinas sila.
Nasa Pinas, okay.
So, I mean, he's done it exactly the right route, no? So, well done you, Joshua. So, exactly correct. So, dumating siya dito before, during the transitional provision. Yeah, pa rin. So, then he applied for pre-settled status. So, his status nga is safe, if you like. No, he has pre-settled status. Under the EU settlement scheme, family permit, he then made an application for the family to join him in the UK. Now, that has been granted. Again, great. Nasa Pinas nga lang, nasa Pinas sila, nandito siya. So I don't think that the family actually ever lived in Germany. So he made an application then, actually, they could, I suppose, live in Germany still. But I think dito, galing nasa Pinas nga sila. And then, of course, because kasama na tayo sa red list countries, nahabutan sila. So they now need to quarantine, tama siya, no? The 10 days in a hotel, unfortunately. But, these things nga happen, Joshua. But Joshua is actually a prime example of having done it, in fact, properly, no, in time. So well done. So that's actually a very good example nga of applying the law to reality.
Ayan. Okay, all right. May biglang nakita ko ano. Okay. Ayan, at least maganda, well done, di ba? He did the right thing. Yun nga lang, inabot ng ano.
Yeah.
Kaya lang, what is gonna be, hindi niya kagad makuha na lang, siguro. Unless he wants to spend money, no? Kamukha nung ano, di ba? It's money for the quarantining, di ba? Medyo mahal yan. And you were mentioning, attorney, na, di ba? Pataas ng pataas yan. Pagka, di ba? Di ba? May ano yan, pagka mayroong mga violations ka, malaki, abot yata na more than 5,000 pesos, pounds, I should say, no? If you add up all those, mga babayaran mo. Yung mga yung mga penalty, pag if you yung mga parang if you don't if you don't comply, di ba? Pag non-compliance on some certain may mga penalties, lalaki yun.
Yeah. Some serious penalties actually. But no, they won't do that. No, I mean I can't imagine that they will do
definitely.
that. There's no choice. Yeah. So
pero
they have to quarantine.
I don't know if I was watching nag-uusap ko ng kumari ko yesterday, si Marites Allen. Ang India daw, let's say pamasahe ko niya 200, biglang naging 2,000 na, no? Nagtaasan kasi nasama sa red list. Ngayon, with the quarantining and everything, paano ba yun? May na parang sa mahal ng ticket, attorney, parang sige na lang, papa-quarantine na lang kami. Kasi kunyari, pagka minumove yung pag in advance mo kunyari, gusto mo na makahabol sa deadline, na Friday yata, parang tawag dito, walang ticket walang ticket, walang flights So, nag-shoot up yung mga presyo. Ngayon, yung meron akong napakinggan hindi ko alam na mas mabuti pa yata. Sige, okay na lang. Instead of buying the ticket now, which is very exorbitant, napaka mahal, titiisin na lang namin, magpapa-quarantine na lang kami sa hotel dahil kapag sinuma total mo, mas makakatipid pa rin kami kung we will stick to our original arrival date dito sa UK and be quarantined compared to buying the ticket now, beat the deadline, but grabe naman ang presyo ng 1,000% o how many percent yun, yung ticket mo pagka mahal-mahal.
Yeah. Yun na nga. But the only thing there though is just beware, no? Kung visit visa ka, okay, in the Philippines that's already passed. Pero kung if you're an Indian citizen nga, no? Tapos ang visa mo papasok dito is visitor, then you have no choice. Otherwise, they won't let you in because you're coming from a red list country. Pero of course, kung tama ka, kung dual ka, for example, o kaya spouse visa ka, and you're coming in from India, you have to consider, is it worth rushing it and paying, say, 10 times, the amount? Maybe it may be cheaper and less stressful to just, tama ka, to just go through the quarantine.
Stick to your original, and go through the quarantine. It might be cheaper in the end, no? Yun nga lang, yun nga lang, nakakatakot naman. Kung nasa India ka naman, nakasave ka rin ng pera mo siguro, kaya lang, mag-iingat ka na lang. You just have to stay home. Kasi napakagrabe na lang sa India meron yata silang another wave. Hindi ko alam kung second or third wave, sa India.
I think there's second wave,
May parang may second wave na grabe ngayon.
I mean, actually, sinasabi niyo sa akin, I was speaking to a client of mine. I mean, he's this morning, tinawagan niya ako. Galing siya, nasa Pinas siya ngayon. Nagulat nga ako because I thought, I mean, where are you calling from? Dahil malabo nga yung reception namin, Sabi ko, where are you calling me from? Sabi niya, I'm stuck in the Philippines, Nandun na siya. Sabi niya sa akin, he's been there for like 6 months na nga, I didn't know, actually. But he's British. So sabi ko, well, ano ang problema? Why don't you just come? And he didn't want to, a little bit like nga yung sinasabi mo, he didn't want, so unang-una, it's a bit confusing kung anong kailangan niyang gawin. And now, of course, nakabutan nga siya, it's red list country nga. So, ayaw niya magbayad ng hotel. And then I was saying to him, well, look, you have to calculate nga. Is it, yung pagbayad mo sa Pinas, the cost of accommodation there and everything else, na kailangan mong bayaran nun, is that so much less than 1,750 pounds kung babalik ka nga dito. If the answer is it is not less, then come back.
Tama.
And also sabi ko nga sa kanya, look, also dito you can get vaccine, you can get your jab. And at the moment he doesn't have it, wala sa atin.
I have a friend, he's coming over actually for the vaccine. And in the process bringing along the partner. Parang kaso biglang naging red list ang Pilipinas. So pwede makapunta siya pero yung girlfriend o partner niya hindi makakapunta. Maski even if they've been living in for 7 years, so ilang years pa yon, di ba? Hindi makakapunta dahil Filipino passport yun eh. So, yun, sayang. Sayang siya, pwede siya magkaroon ng vaccination.
And he's entitled. I mean, he's been he's British and he's been living here nga all the time. Yung nga lang, he went for a holiday and then got stuck. But pero nga, sabi ko sa kanya, look, it's just you also have to consider, that's a bit like the price of traveling now. Do you really want to pay the traveling now, or do you want to just wait and staying out with the original plan and just quarantine,
Sabi mo holidays, di ba? Na umuwi lang siya holidays. Ngayon, we're so excited na sana matuloy. May 27, the next, di ba? May 17, May 17. Hopefully, meron ng international travel. They will classify countries into green, amber, and red siguro, So yung mga green countries, okay na, Maaring US kasama riyan, maaring
Yeah.
Basta yung mga countries na maganda ang ang vaccination. Pero ang sinasabi, yung maraming requirements, siyempre, kanyari, let's say the countries that you will go to might require that you have at least your 2 doses or yung may test na, how many hours? 48, 72 hours before the flight.
Yeah.
Pero may problema sila, mahal daw yung test eh. Hindi ko alam kung yung PCR test yung mura o yung isang test na, di ba? And they're trying to bring that down, yun ang parang problema. Kasi yung mga nasa travel industry, oo nga, maaaring lubuwag, pero baka maging turn off din dahil yung EasyJet mo halimbawa na, di ba? EasyJet, mga 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds. Baka yung PCR test, mga 100 pounds. Mahal-mahal, di ba? You'd end up on a round trip ticket mo, less than 50 pounds. Yung back and forth mo na test naman, ng COVID test mo or ng is 200 pounds. Parang, di ba? Parang kalokohan lang, di ba? Sayang, no? Yun ang ating mga sana magtuloy-tuloy sana at saka mawala na yung tong test na to, no, na sinasabi. Hindi yata pwede yung bibigay, may binigay sa atin test, alam mo yung attorney, they made an announcement na I don't know 2 or 3 weeks ago na pwede na tayong mag-request ng mga test kits.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Na ano yata yun?
Yes, yeah.
Hindi ko pa nag-request.
No, ako nga din, not yet, no. We should really for the office nga. But yeah, so they're encouraging us to test. I think twice a week. I think
twice a week.
That's
Oo, yan, di ba?
Twice a week.
Ba siya Oo, libre. Contact their GP, no?
Yeah.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Okay. Ito si Joshua, she said, she is a Filipina. I'm just sharing what we did. Maganda, okay na.
Yeah. No,
and then they never lived in Germany. They come from the Philippines. I used my German passport to apply to the settlement scheme. Dapat po March 19 original flight nila. Last month. Ang kaso, nag-positive po sa COVID test. Wife ko in the Philippines. Wow. Buisit si COVID.
No. Okay.
Libre nga po ang visa nila. Libre mga visa nila. Dahil kasabi mo, di ba, pagka dito yung European na yan, walang bayad. Di ba? Walang bayad yan eh. 1,000, libre po nga po ang visa nila, 1,750 pounds naman ang hotel. Ayun, no.
Yeah.
So maghihintay ka siguro, Joshua, unless, no, medyo marami-rami kang pera, dali mo na rito kagad, no. So, panay na lang siguro sila.
No, too late now.
Ano na yan?
Yeah, paso na, no? We're already in the list.
Wala na, paso na nga. Kaya nga,
paso na.
Kaya nga, oo. So yung 1,750, wala yon. It's irrelevant na, no, 'di ba? Wala na 'yon. Because hindi nga nasa red list yung yung Pilipinas eh. Okay. Si Christine Hartley says thank you ever so much. Yung nagpasalamat na asking kung British citizens sila, they decided to go to Australia. What's can they still come back, no? Ito si Ma'am Cora Carsola. Hello, Sir Sonny, Attorney Lira, and all. Maligayang Huwebes. Yan ang kanyang trademark yung Maligayang Huwebes, no? Yung Happy Thursday, si Ma'am Cora Carsola. Ayan. Okay. Attorney, siguro ito, final question natin, Attorney, for tonight, no? Okay. Ito ang ating question for tonight na... okay, sandali lang, ho. Ayan, okay. Ito ang final question natin, Attorney, for tonight. Ito, alam mo naman kasi iba't ibang mga countries, no, Pinoy na nanonood sa atin, no, from different parts of the world. Nakakatuwa naman, no? But syempre, related dito. Ito, may question tayo from Lilia M. Madali po bang makahanap ng trabaho po dyan sa UK? Nani po ako dito sa Hong Kong ng 5 years na po. Ano po dapat kong gawin para makapagtrabaho po dyan? So, iniisip nila parang, darating sila, pwede mag-apply. Minsan, yung mga kamag-anak, sasabihin, apply mo naman ako. Kakaibigan, apply mo naman ako dyan. No? Ganyan, no? Ayan, Attorney, paano mo sasagutin yan?
Okay, so ito po, Lilia, there are two routes na pag-usapan natin. Both are actually not terribly helpful to you. So, ang una po, yung domestic work visa, no? Yung domestic work visa, nagbago na yon, and nagbago nga yon, I think it was 2012, along with other things that changed a lot in 2012 nga. So, ngayon, kung meron kang trabaho ngayon as a nani ka nga sa Hong Kong, kung gusto nga dalhin ng amo mo nga dito, sabihin natin, no? Dahil may holiday nga sila, they can get a domestic work visa for you. Pero yun po, maximum na yon 6 months. Pagka nandito ka, hindi mo pwedeng i-extend. There's no extension. Hindi mo din pwedeng palitan ng trabaho. So, it has changed now substantially. So, may nagsasabi sa'yo, walang problema, pagka nandito ka, ayusin mo sila, pagbago ko ng trabaho sa domestic, iba na po yun. Hindi na yung pwede. So, although I'm saying that, domestic work visa ang pagpasok nga dito, it doesn't mean that then you can change. So, it doesn't really help you. Pangalawa po, itong skilled worker route, no? So, basically points-based system, no? So, kailangan, you need to satisfy nga the 70 points. Unfortunately, kung nani ka, that's not part of the list of occupations nga na makakakuha nga ng visa dito under the skilled worker route, unfortunately. So, kung nani ang gusto mong kung nani ang trabaho mo, yun ang gusto mong gawin nga dito, and sadly, it's not something that you can use nga as an occupation to come into the UK to work in the UK. Sorry, Sonny, hindi kita marinig.
Hindi, kasi may mga friends din ako, kunyari, Middle East or kung saan mang bahagi ng mundo, Pilipinas o ano. Pare, hanap mo nga kaming trabaho dyan. Pare, ano ba pwedeng trabaho dyan? What do I tell them? Sabi ko ba na merong mga trabaho ritong kailangan? Ganon. Akala nila kasi pwedeng ihanap ng trabaho sa isang restaurant dyan o sa isang kung ano-ano lang, no? O mamasukan sa isang kumpanya siguro, I don't know, kung accountant o I don't know, kung whatever. Ano dapat sabihin namin? Kunyari, hindi lang siguro sa akin yan. Siguro marami tayong mga kababayan, baka pati ikaw rin, siguro, attorney. Pag sinabi sa'yo ng isang kakilala, kaibigan, kamag-anak, kuya o ate, baka pwede namang mo kami dyan, ano ba pwedeng maging trabaho dyan? Ano dapat isagot namin? Kasi nasabi lang, mahirap dito. So, ikaw, sige, from an expert, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, so, I mean, yung first question nga, madali po bang makahanap ng trabaho dito sa UK? Yeah, the answer is, well, it depends really kung ang skill set mo. So kung may tao and you do get these inquiries, hanapan mo ka ng trabaho. So the first thing po is anong skill set mo, no? So kung nani ka, unfortunately, that's not going to be interesting for the skilled worker.
Ano ang skill set? Anong qualifications mo? Parang kasi baka hindi alam naman sa Pilipinas, ano skill set mo?
Yeah, sorry.
May nanonood din. Di ba? Tama, so, skill set. Anong
qualifications mo, no? Yeah, so una, kailangan mong trabaho, no? Dito. So you need to actually make an application to an employer, kumpanya, sabihin natin, na may lisensya nga dito to employ a foreign national to come into the United Kingdom. Now, interesado nga lang sila if you have certain qualifications, no? And if you fall within certain qualifications, so sabihin nga natin, recently added to the shortage occupation list, senior care workers, nursing assistants, nursing auxiliaries, no? Kung yun ang trabaho nyo sa atin nga ngayon, tapos gusto nyo pumasok sa UK, unang-unang kailangan nyo, trabaho, offer of employment. So, if you have the employment nga, and yung employer nyo may lisensya, no? And you can find out nga kung meron silang lisensya through the Home Office website. There are about over 3,000 companies listed. That changes all the time. So check all the time nga din. Now, kung meron silang lisensya and they give you, they sponsor you, if you like, no, to come into the UK, then the next thing is making an application to come into the country under this skilled worker route, no? So you have to satisfy a total of 70 points po, no? 20 points you get immediately kung meron kayong offer of employment, valid offer of employment. Another 20 points po kung yung skill set, yung qualifications nyo, if you have the experience to fill that post. So 40 points na. 10 points po English language, must be no less than usually B1 certificate. So 50 points na nga. And then the last 20 points, you can achieve that by if you come under the shortage occupation list, for example, o yung income nyo, no? So it's sorry, sandali lang, my battery is running low. I don't know why. So you can come into the country to work in the UK, pero una nga po, do you have the right qualification nga? If you have the right qualification, ang pangalawa is you need a job offer. So hindi nga lang basta-basta na maybe someone just na they offer then employment to you. That's not how it works. Kailangan nyo nga that employer must be licensed to take on a worker in the United Kingdom.
Oh, yan. Okay, may mga trabaho na pagka may shortage yan ang kailangan, occupation. Meron din mga occupation na general lang, attorney, na pwedeng basta yung kailangan normally mga nasa shortage list ang priority o yung mga talagang dumarating na nandito, yung mga nasa shortage list, I'm just looking at it. But anyway, so okay, ayan yun nga kasi marami kasi mga kamag-anak, kaibigan, 'di ba, lahat they will think na nasa UK ka, baka pwede mo naman daling kami riyan, kung ganun lang kadali sana, pwede nakakutin mo lahat, pero hindi eh. Kaya nga may immigration ito, 'di ba? Yung challenges, the travails, the stresses that yung lahat niya para lang maging makuha yung permanent residency o yung status dito. Kaya nga sabi nga, it is likened na nga to winning the lottery nga, 'di ba? Pag lalo na kung naging masyadong challenging yung application mo, 'di ba, attorney? So ayan.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, ayan, teka muna. Okay. Okay. Ito, nako. Ito, may nagtatanong rito sa Facebook tuloy, sa YouTube. Attorney, ito, may tanong dito. Sagutin mo siguro. Tapos ipa-flash natin yung yung number mo. Ito. Ayan, attorney.
Okay.
Mabasa mo ba?
So galing po to kay Celeste May Abreu. So sabi po niya, good evening po, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sonny. Kamusta po ang week nyo? Be safe always po, Attorney. What is the best time to call you po on
weekends? May itatanong po ako about sa application ko. Salamat po. Ayan.
Yeah. So Celeste, there's no good time to call me on a weekend, okay? Because I will not answer.
Weekdays, no?
Yeah.
Weekdays.
Weekdays po.
And
also,
para makapagpahinga naman siya.
Well, actually, I am working at the weekend, but mainly I do my paperwork and I prepare for my next Thursday, for my next Happy Thursday.
Ayun, Okay.
So,
All right.
anytime during the week, though.
During the week, bakit ba? Ba't parang weekend ng during the week lang siguro, Celeste, no? Kumbaga, Monday to office days or during the weekdays siguro. So, Celeste, mabuhay ha. Celeste, ang ganda ng pangalan niya, parang yung singer, si Celeste Legaspi.
Ang ganda niya, no?
Maganda. Sorry. Na-switch ko na ba? Hindi pa, no? Maganda siya, maganda. Joshua Hatchinger would like to...
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
They're on the plane now.
He's updating us.
They are arriving tomorrow in Birmingham. Yan,
in Birmingham.
Good.
Yeah, Joshua, keep us up to date, Send us some pictures.
Sinabi mo, attorney, basta spouse po pwede. Student visa, basta meron ka, tapos work permit na maaaring umuwi ka, darating. So, pwede talagang dumating nga talaga. So, congratulations. I'm sure excited na siyang Ito sabi ni Celeste May Abreu, I'm working po kasi from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Pwede niya email siguro.
Ang gawin mo to. Yeah, mag-email ka sa akin, Miss Abreu. So sabihin mo kung anong telephone number mo, no? And then, ang opisina nga namin, bukas kami, 9 to 5:30, Monday to Friday, apart from Thursdays, no? When we're open till 7, ha? So, pero kung nasa aking telephone number mo, if I'm in the office and I usually am beyond, 5:30, I'll give you a call. So,
Pero,
email me your number.
Pero yan ang email mo, no, attorney. Yan ang email ni attorney, no. Cabatbat, asan na ba yan? Cabatbat, ayan. Cabatbat at Douglas Simon may dash, no, simon.com.
Opo.
Hindi, pero work niya, attorney, 7 to 7 eh. Kaya hindi ka naman siguro abutin na 7 do sa opisina, no? Parang gano'n, no?
Oh, no. I've been there. I'm there beyond 7. So,
Okay. Sige, pag 7 to 7 pag na libre, iyan mo. Ayan. Email mo ano pangalan niya, attorney? Celeste nga pala, maganda pangalan niya, Celeste. Ayan, Douglas Cabatbat at Douglas-Simon.com. Telephone number 0203-375-0555, no? Kung baka makasingit ka rin ng tawag. I'm sure yung 7 to 7 mo na, may break ka naman dyan, no? May 1 hour lunch break ka riyan, o may 2 coffee breaks ka dyan, no? Kami dati, when I was working then, may coffee break ka dito kasi 9 to 5 eh. So may lunch hour ka, hindi ko alam kung 45, 30 minutes, then 15 minutes na dalawang coffee break, afternoon, morning, no? Ayun.
Yeah, usually.
Oh.
So, kung meron kang time, isingit mo ako. Just give me a call when you're available. If I'm not available, just leave a message and I'll buzz you back.
Attorney, ito last question na ho to. Agahan ho ninyo next week, ha? Agahan ho nito. Last question na mabilis siguro, attorney. Para ano. Okay, asan na ba to? May last question tayo rito, attorney. Ito ay coming from sandali ha. Ayan, kay Lala Cadelina. Hi po. Hello po pala. Hi po tuloy. I'm in the UK now in fiancé visa. Nurse ako sa Pinas. Ask ko lang kung ilang years to wait para magamit ko ang profession ko dito sa UK. Thanks po. Ilang ways to wait ko para hindi. Okay, pwede na siya, 'di ba? Fiancé pala.
Yeah.
'Di ba kailangan pakasalan?
Well,
muna.
there are two questions there. So, una po, kung nurse ka nga, and you want to qualify in the UK and actually work in the United Kingdom, separately yung kung anong man status mo nga, fiancé or spouse, then you need to qualify, of course. And the best website to look at is really the NMC, no? They have quite a good note kung ano kailangan mong gawin in order to qualify in the United Kingdom nga as a nurse. Now, separately from that, of course, kung fiancé ka, no, you're not allowed to work in the United Kingdom with a fiancé visa. And the visa, of course, is only for 6 months nga lang. In order to be able to work in the United Kingdom, kailangan mong palitan yung fiancé visa mo to a spouse. So basically, kailangan yung ikasal. Tapos pagkakasal na kayo, then you make an application, new application nga as a spouse. Pagka spouse visa ka na, not before, okay? So spouse visa, nung ka pwedeng magtrabaho nga dito sa UK. And so that is, now, yung visa mong bibigay sa'yo, it would normally be for 2.5 years. During that time, pwede kang magtrabaho sa nurse, gusto mong mag-aral to pursue your nursing career, hindi nga rin problema. And then before the visa is going to finish, yung spouse visa mo, you need to apply to extend it po. And once you've extended it, then you can, 5 years nga, then you can make an application for indefinite leave to remain. So settlement status yon. And then you can make an application for naturalization leading to a British passport.
Ito, attorney, may reality. Alam mo naman sa buhay ng tao ngayon, maraming nangyayari, attorney, no? Maraming mangyayari. No, sige. Ako naman. Sige.
Yeah.
Okay. Hindi. Gusto ko lang itanong, attorney. Sige, okay. Kamukha niya, for example, kinuha siya on a fiancé visa. Ano mangyayari halimbawa, siguro nakukulitan sa kanya o ayaw sa kanya, siguro parang na-realize ng guy na parang hindi ko naman pala love tong tao na to. What if, for example, hindi pinakasalan siya, for example, or sino man, somebody na nasa fiancé visa, hindi tinuluyan, asar siguro yung mapapangasawa. What happens? Are they deported back or do they have to go back to the Philippines? Ano nangyayari yan?
Yeah, exactly. No? So, kung matatapos ng visa, so 6 months is 6 months nga. No?
6 months, okay.
Kung hindi nga yung mangyari, there's no basis. Yeah, there's no basis for stay unless there's something else. So, for example, nga, you can, if you're able to try and argue a kind of a human rights type application, or you have another basis of staying in the UK. Sa kanya, So, sabihin natin, may mangyari, hindi na nga matuloy yun. Now, strictly speaking, dahil nurse nga siya dito, she can of course, she can try and consider making an application under the skilled worker route, no? Because nga of her profession.
Pwede ba
Either as a
yan?
nursing assistant.
Pwede ba yan? Kasi sa Pilipinas, very challenging yan because you have to pass the English test. Yun ang Waterloo ng maraming nurses. It's so easy actually. Ang nurses, madali, dumating. Kaya lang, ang problema, ang Waterloo nila, yung English test. Ayun, teka muna, wala si attorney. Okay. Ayan, na-overtime kasi si attorney, no? Na-overtime yung kay attorney na-overtime tayo. So, ayun, gusto ko lang malaman, what happens now, for example, kinuha ka, 6 months, kinuha ka ng fiancé mo, no? 6 months ang visa mo. Paano kung ayaw na sa'yo? O, di ba? Parang after 1 month, asar na, o ayaw na, o sawa na sa'yo. No? What happens now? Ayun, yun ang tanong. Kaya, tayo lang natin bumalik si attorney, baka hindi na, sana makabalik pa, no? Na lobat yata, na over tayo Ayan. So, Lala, hintayin ko lang makarating. Pero okay na, no? Okay na yun. So, hintayin mo na lang. Magkaibang partiya, magkaiba yun Kasi yung nurse, which is mas maayos siguro sa'yo dahil, although, hindi ko alam, no? Kung dapat maitanong natin kung kukuha ka pa ng English test, no? Kasi yun ang alam ko na marami nagbabagsakan sa Pilipinas yun. Nagte-take 2 at ano pa, no? For a time, yan ang nagiging mahirap na i-hurdle. So those are two different things. Dalawa, may visa ka as a fiancé na pwedeng maging spouse na. Yung kabila naman, just to practice your profession, no? Kasi pagka yung may spouse visa ka na, maski anong trabaho pwede mo applyan, no? Pero yung nursing, ayun, dapat malaman. I-check mo na lang sa NMC para nang sa ganun ay ano ba tawag dito? Malaman natin. Teka muna. Kamusta na kaya si attorney, no? Ayan. Ayan, okay. So at least nakabalik muna, maski magpaalam para makapagpaalam lang muna si attorney. Okay. Napasarap kasi ang kwentuhan. Oo nga, na-overtime kasi tayo. Kaya siguro yung ang battery mo hanggang 2 hours, no? Okay. Attorney, yun lang. I was just mentioning habang wala ka, mini-mention ko lang na two aspects yun, two different things yun yung sa paano mag-apply to practice her profession, and at the same time, isa naman sa fiancé visa niya, no? Yung kailangan after 6 months, kung within that period mapakasalan siya, meron na siyang spouse visa, and she can apply do any work, di ba? Pwede na siya any job.
Yeah.
Pwede gusto niya maging waitress, gusto niya maging janitress, gusto niya maging nanny, o whatever, pwede na siya. Legal na siya magtrabaho. Pero kung tungkol sa nursing, kamukha kasi sa Pilipinas, it's a hurdle nga, no? Dahil kailangan ipasa mo yung English test. Hindi natin alam kung dito kailangan yan. I-check nyo na lang sa NMC. Siguro, di ba? Parang ganun.
Yeah.
At saka meron merong adaptation period pa yan. Alam ko, I don't know kung existing pa rin yan, yung adaptation period. Ganyan ang mga nurses, no? Di ba?
Yeah.
Pag,
they need desperately nga nurses in the United Kingdom. But you just have to also be that fiancé visa is really akin to a visit visa, not allowed to work. So it's also one of those visas that you can't simply swap, easily to something else. But if kung nurse nga siya, then there's every possibility either in country or out country nga, more likely out country kung fiancé visa siya, that she can apply nga on that basis yung profession nga niya. So, but it's good na nandito ka. Hopefully you're able to practice your profession,
Okay, well, I guess magpaalam na tayo, attorney. Iba na yung audio mo ngayon, para ka ng parang ano ka na, yung nasa isang room na, no? Pero okay yan, at least nakabalik ka pa, no? We were worried. Akala ko magpapaalam ako. Magiging sad Thursday to dahil hindi ka nila makikita, makakapagpaalam, no? So, attorney, sige, magpaalam na tayo. So, how do they get in touch with you? Para nang sa ganun, and you might want to greet anybody, or baka may messages ka, may nais ka pa ipahatid sa atin, sa ating mga kababayan na nakalimutan mo, na naalala mo. Siguro, you can also mention kung meron man, no?
Yeah.
So, go ahead, please, attorney.
Yeah, no. I mean, that just to say again, it's I know I say it every week, but it is because it truly is how I feel. No, salamat po for listening and asking questions, and also relaying your own your experiences. It makes this happy Thursday even a happier Thursday and an even more interesting Thursday. So salamat po. I'm really humbled by the time that you give to us. So now, yung nga pinag-usapan natin, as I said, it's part 1 po ito, no? Just because EU and Brexit are so is quite a complex area of law. So next week po, and hopefully you tune in nga, it would be again EU and Brexit, but we'll concentrate nga on EU citizens already in the United Kingdom. So mga deadlines po. So please, come join us again.
Oy, magdala kayo ng ballpen ha. Sulat niyo yung mga dates kasi ang daming dates no. Yung notes ko nga ito, attorney, yung mga 2 ways of no. Ayan, no. Ang ganda ng mga sinasabi mo, the qualifying British citizen, medyo ano 'yan, mga terms na ginagamit do sa immigration. Okay, well, I guess it's time for me to say goodbye, for us to say goodbye. Maraming salamat sa inyong walang sawang pagsubaybay, no? At for making our Thursday together, together tayo, attorney, them and us, no? For making our Thursday a happy Thursday. So let's do it again. At sana'y hindi kayo magsawang manood dito. Always share this program nang sa ganon, we can have more people knowing about yung mga rules and regulations ng immigration, because yan, whether you like it or not, somehow it would affect you in a way. You might have your loved ones na gustong kunin sa Pilipinas, no? At maraming pa yan, maraming iba yan marami pang mga situations na you will eventually need advice or enlightenment on the immigration issues, no, or immigration matters. So, let's do it again on Thursday. So, till then, it's Sonny here and Attorney Lira saying good night, take care, and God bless. Bye!